Okay, so SummerSlam started off with the women's championship match between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Dominic came with Rhea to the ring as suspected, but as you will see, uh, didn't exit with her, as all I'll say until the photos reveal it. But this is the full highlight video that I mentioned in my brief match result post. So it obviously bit longer and shows how the whole match went down pretty much frame by frame. Not frame by frame, but the highlights of the match. So as you can see, I think keep in mind that Dominic was wearing white as he's usually wearing black, which I think may have been like a subtle cue or like a nod to something. That was Rhea making fun of Liv doing the whole watch me thing. Again, I personally called both of these turns ahead of time. Like I knew it was gonna happen just because I've been watching wrestling for over 30 years. So I know when they're gonna swerve, and I just, you know what I mean. But it was still very entertaining to see. So we had a three-man team of Pat McAfee, Michael Cole, and Corey Graves, and the referees actually had this cool referee camera thing. It's a shot from the referee cam. Um, Liv Morgan then made her way to the ring. The reigning women's world champion. There might be some action shots and some spots that are I just took pictures of. So if I'm not talking for a few seconds or whatever, that's why. Um, in the beginning of this match, as you'll see, it was very cat and mouse. But I'll wait till the action actually begins to do the play-by-play for it. So obviously, first Rhea Ripley introduced as the challenger. The woman who's breaking the internet, Samantha Irvin, introducing Liv Morgan as the champion. Well, it was crazy how the photo I took happened to not having it. Yeah, for the women's world title, with her Liv side plates. So the match started out, and Liv clearly had a strategy of this whole cat and mouse game where she kept running out of the ring, getting Rhea to follow her, like run out after her and then run back in. That's Rhea chasing her and then Liv running back in. And this went on for a good 5 minutes. It was your typical smaller heel avoiding the bigger face, the cowardly heel avoiding the face situation. And then finally, Liv rolled outside, and Rhea pump faked going outside, and Liv rolled back in, and they started trading blows back and forth. Rhea caught both of Liv's arms and hit her with a clothesline. a few power clotheslines. Rhea also had a major wedgie during most of the match. Like it was like she was like practically wearing a thong, but because of the wedgie. But that's Rhea licking Dom's cheek in front of Liv, and then she kicks Liv. And throws her into the steel steps. She tried to do a riptide onto the top rope. This is when she was getting ready for the riptide. The shot put her away, which Liv Morgan countered. And Rhea went Rhea went diving into the post and dislocated her shoulder right off the bat. So right from the beginning of the match, her shoulder was like, and then yeah, it gets pretty graphic. She tried Liv starts focusing on the shoulder. It looked pretty. I think it actually was dislocated too. It looked pretty gross, and she was screaming it's out at the referee, presumably that her shoulder was dislocated, like it's out of its socket. Liv continued to work on the shoulder of Rhea. Shortly, you'll see it gets pretty graphic. Rhea gets so desperate, she starts trying to run into things and pop her shoulder back into place. Like, it's Michael Bolton says he's like, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And a lot of these might be action shots, so I apologize if they were blurry. Dom shoved Rhea out of the way to catch Liv's diving tope suicida, seemingly helping Rhea. Rhea had drop kicked Liv, I believe, into the corner and was setting up for a riptide, I believe. That's when she tried to run. She ran into the announce desk trying to pop her shoulder back into place. It was disgusting. This is where I think she finally hits the riptide. Yeah. Or no, she went for riptide and got countered into a DDT by Liv. Liv went for the pin and Rhea kicked out. Rhea started to try to mount an offense again, but Liv kept deflecting her off. And then she yanked her off the top rope. and tried to put her in a prism lock, but because her shoulder was messed up, she could only really hold her with one arm, so she couldn't put any pressure on with the other arm, and Liv very easily escaped out of it. Oh, then Liv hit Rhea with a crucifix bomb. Wow, it's a nice shot I got. But Liv hit Rhea with a crucifix bomb. Went for a pin, only got a 2 count, then went for an armbar, and was unable to get Rhea's hands unclenched until Rhea finally like got her up for a power bomb, but it wasn't like a very it's kind of a weak power bomb considering it was the arm slash shoulder that seems to be injured. Seemed you could see it when she ran to that post. It was fucking like it. Sorry for my language, but it looked bad. Her shoulder like looked like it definitely was out of place. So this is that, and then there we're going back and forth. Liv went and got a chair because she has champion's advantage. Why she didn't just chuck it at her? She could have, which would have been a disqualification. Rhea got it away from her and hit the riptide, which is when the shenanigans happen, as you are about to see. Dominic, instead of going for a pin after the riptide, Rhea grabbed a chair. Dominic stopped Rhea because he said she would get disqualified and she wouldn't win the championship, which was true. So it still seemed like he was helping her. Then Liv knocked them off the apron and hit an oblivion on Rhea, who kicked out after two, like 2.99. And it was at this point that Dominic slid a chair into the ring for Liv to do the second Oblivion onto Rhea onto it and retain her world heavyweight champion, her women's world heavyweight championship. So Dirty Dom double cross, and that's yeah, the cameras caught him smiling right after. So you knew he did it on purpose. So Dirty Dom screwed Rhea Ripley out of regaining her championship, and your winner and still women's world heavyweight champion, Liv Morgan, or world champion. They don't have heavyweight, but and it's just replaying how it happened. But it was so obvious. I mean, clearly slid the chair past Rhea to Liv for like it's been a setup the whole time. And as we'll see later on, it's not the only setup. It was a bad night for the Judgment Day. And then Dominic picks up Liv, who is acting surprised like she had no idea he was going to do that. And then they kiss. Pat McAfee's losing his mind too. Like, and I mean, all the announcers are screaming at them like obscenities. Uh, so it turns out Dirty Dom picked Liv over Rhea after all, and cost her title, and would rather be Liv's daddy than have Rhea as her mommy, as his mommy. There's a new power couple in WWE. No, I'm just kidding. But if Dominic got the way he already gets booed when he comes out, he's gonna get booed out of the effing building.